everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Sonia. And today we're doing just like a simple little, just like very casual video. We're doing a let's chat of kind of a trope I've been seeing in kind of like at least two animes I've watched. If you know any more, once I kind of get into it, like let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to be talking about One Piece, and I'm also going to be talking about Fairy Tail. And the topic I wanted to discuss with you guys is something I've noticed, which I'm going to call lovesickness. I think that's actually what they call it in One Piece. But I'm going to be talking about the characters of Boa Hancock, which is the One Piece example I'm going to be bringing up, and Juvia from Fairy Tail. And what this lovesickness is the writer decides, okay, I'm going to write a very powerful woman with like a lovely backstory. I'm gonna kind of make her lust over a guy that, and this also kind of goes into the trope of one-sided love, which I kind of don't like, and Naruto does a lot of that, but we'll get into that later. So kind of give you guys an idea, spoiler wise, I'm pretty much with Boa only going to be talking about the Amazon Lily arc. It might go into a little bit of the Marineford arc and other things into that nature, so just kind of be aware of that. Juvia is going to probably be most of Fairy Tail when she gets introduced to where I'm up to right now, which is not necessarily fully to the end, but pretty close. So just kind of be aware that there might be some mild spoilers. I'm going to try to keep it pretty tamed, but I might have to pull some examples from different aspects of Fairy Tail to kind of prove my point, so just be aware. So without further ado, I'm going to start with Boa. I don't have as much to say just because she's in the story, but not as much as Juvia is. And it's actually worse with Juvia than it is with Boa. So with Boa, how we meet her, she is kicking puppies. She's kicking children. She is like destroying children's projects that are there to worship her. Like, she is a nightmare, to put it lightly. So that's kind of how she starts. And then we have her, the first time she meets Luffy is the bathtub scene where he accidentally sees her mark on her back, and she gets all freaked out. Luffy's like, I don't get what your problem is. And when he finds out, he feels for her, definitely, but does not see, like, still doesn't care, like, you know, he's for the rebellion, so he's definitely against what she had to go through, which at a very young age, she was captured by the government and was put enslaved and experimented on, and that's how she got her devil fruit. So she has a really sad backstory, with her being a very good, to me, one of the best warlords that they had, because why she's a warlord is just to protect these women. Like, she's not a warlord for evil purposes. It's just like, you know what? I want to keep my island safe. I want to make sure that no men come on this island that could hurt these women. Like, I'm just here to protect these women. So you get that backstory, and it makes her like a really good ruler and everything else. But at the same time, she starts getting to know Luffy, and then finds out that her heart fruit, that's I can't remember the name of it, but her power is men are obsessed with her. She can turn them into stone. She can't do that with Luffy. This is kind of the Colosseum scene, and at first she's angry about it until her two sisters start fighting Luffy, and then Luffy sees one of the sisters' symbols and covers her up, and then that gets like Boa into the point of, okay, now I'm obsessed with you. So it does cover a lot of tropes that I don't like as a reader. Now, as an anime watcher, it's a little bit more tolerable, but love at first sight, like the obsession trope, I'm not really into that. Now, like, if it's a two-sided obsession, or like it's like, okay, like when I'm kind of getting into Juvia, I'll talk about this, but if like Luffy was like to show a little bit of interest sexually towards Boa, I would be like, okay, go for it. Like, sounds great. But the problem is that this is such a one-sided thing. Like, Luffy's like just sitting there like, oh, this lady's giving me meat. She's so nice. So it's a very, I want to have a friendship with you. I want to have, you know, you're my comrade at this point of the story, because he loses his whole crew by this point. So it's just, it's not something that really makes Boa look good. And it also turns her into a joke. She turns into a woman Sanji at Sanji's worst times. Like, his simp energy, and I will do probably videos on Sanji eventually because I love him so much. His simp energy does drive me crazy, yo. Like, I do like the fact that, you know, he doesn't like to hurt women and all that stuff, but yes, his simp energy definitely gets annoying. And that's exactly what Oda unfortunately did to Boa. Now, Oda, on the other hand, is part of my series of women written really well, and he writes Robin and Nami really well. So I'm hoping by the time we see Boa again in the series that she does develop a lot as a character, because we do not see her for very long. So it's like by the time that we're saying goodbye to her, we haven't seen her until some of the recent chapters, but she hasn't been around Luffy for most of this second arc. So that's kind of, that's the big reason why I'm like, okay, maybe Oda will save this character, because right now she is like kind of went from a very powerful warrior, somebody I really respected. I do not like the kick puppy scene, but I can get down with a really good woman villain, and like a very woman, you know, antagonist and everything. I can really get down with that, like, and everything. But by the time we get to the end where we're saying bye to her in the story for right now, she becomes kind of a joke, a simp joke. Because I don't know if Oda was like, okay, well, we have Sanji, so we need to make a woman version of this because he loves his parallels. I'm like, I don't know, but it does not work for me. And this is not to say I don't like Boa as a character. I actually do like Boa as a character. It's like I like Sanji as a character. Like, and a lot of what I think leads them to this energy is a lot of childhood trauma and not being able to feel like you're loved or anything like that. So once you get into, I'm going to jump into Juvia's section now, which is the fairy tale section. So if you haven't watched too much of fairy tale, if you haven't even seen it, I would maybe skip this part or just watch the first part. That's gonna be just a heads up, just a warning. There's gonna be spoilers for fairy tale if you have not seen it. Okay, so Juvia, when we first meet Juvia, she is in a dark guild. Not remember which one. I apologize, guys. I've been pretty much binging fairy tale, and it's kind of all like streamlined in my brain right now. So I do apologize, but that's when she first meets Gray. Now, Gray as a character is my type of character. He is Mr. Brooding, does not have much of a personality, and I do not blame Juvia for being interested, because I would definitely be interested if I was in this world. Gray would be my choice. But he has so much trauma after his I'm gonna have to get into some spoilers for Gray, so I apologize, guys. So he has so much trauma that he's working out. He's like one of the characters that I'm like, I kind of do respect the writing, because it feels like he is trying to deal with his trauma and then let somebody in. So, and that's kind of what I'm getting at the end of this kind of arc I'm in right now, which is, it seems like the finale of One Piece, not One Piece, Fairy Tail, is the fact that they're in their final battle, things will be confessed at the end, is kind of where I'm getting at. And then, we have the 100-year quest, which I'm not sure if that's like an extension of like the afterwards of what we're going to be going through, or what that is, but we'll get there once we get there. But so the last thing that Gray really wants in his life is really a girlfriend. Like, I think he respects enough to where he's like, yeah, I'm just not there emotionally right now. And that's kind of, he keeps on telling Juvia, like, I'm not interested. Like, I like you. Like, I like you as a friend. I like you as a comrade. They're power up when they're, they do that together. Very cool. Like, you would think, like, maybe they should be a couple. But I'm also okay with them just being friends. But I don't think the character of Juvia will let us have that. Where it's like, she sees Gray for the first time, he beats her down, and then she's like, hearts in her eyes, and I'm like, okay, here we go again. Like, here's the simp of Fairy Tail. Like, it's just, it feels so much like that. And I love, this is the thing that I don't like about this trope, is her magic is so cool. She has like one of the coolest powers. Like, she turns into water and you can't touch her. So she's actually very overpowered in, like, out of a lot of the characters of, Fairy Tail and in their guild. So to lower her down to a joke is kind of insulting to that character, because she actually has, like, she's really sweet, like, really kind, really wants Gray to see her and everything. And she's just, and now she's just a joke because she simped over a guy. Now she's a joke. And I think a lot of the, she's just looking for connection. Now, when it comes to her, there's not much of a backstory to her that I can remember, to be honest. So this trope could come from the factor of simping. It seems like in general comes through that childhood trauma of, I wasn't loved enough, like, somebody, like, and I need somebody to love me, so I'm gonna love these other people. I'm gonna get obsessed with these other people, and that's kind of what it seems like to me is, oh, they understand me. I think they understand me. So I'm going to simp over them, and I feel like I have a chance with these people. Even though, at the end, she could get with Gray. Like, I'm not finished with it yet. Anything could happen. And there's a scene at the end of where I'm at is Gray's like, I will give you an answer once we're done. And, there's a couple of other scenes with Gray and Urza where they hint at, this is during the games, where they're like, you need to give her an answer. You need to either let her go or give her an answer. And maybe I'm just not patient enough with men to to wait until he figures his life out, because that seems like what Juvia, but Juvia does anything and everything for this man. Like she ran away with him, he left her, and she sat out in the rain and got sick. Like this is the level of obsession that we're talking about, because she's just waiting for him to get home. Why she couldn't wait inside, why she had to wait in the rain, I have no idea. I guess we need drama. Because Fairy Tail is just a level of drama that I love. I love Fairy Tail and their drama. But you know, it's just like, okay, you're smart. Like Juvia actually, if you took out Gray out of the equation, would probably be a really smart character. Like we would probably be getting like a Levy or a Lucy, even though Lucy does stupid things too, or an Urza. Probably more on an Urza Mary Jane level because of how powerful she is. But like those are well-written women that I'm excited to talk about eventually on this channel. But the idea is, you know, you have a level of obsession. There's this scene during the games where I can't remember exactly what the rules are, but you can't touch like the doppelganger of the character, and she's surrounded by Greys and like wants to touch all of them, and she loses a point because of the fact that she's so obsessed with Gray. And he becomes a very big weakness instead of being a comrade. Like if you I'm gonna kind of go into some of the couples, but the gunslinger couple that's in here, like they work together really well, and there's still a couple where Gray to me is a hindrance to her growth, because I think she could grow a lot more as a character if she did not obsess over Gray and everything he's about. I think this starts getting better towards the end of the series, because I just got out of Tartarus, that arc, where, you know, she has the scene where she's talking to the skeleton guy, that's the necromancer, there's the word. She's talking to the necromancer that's connected to Gray's dad. Gray's at the point where he's like, okay, I need to kill this man, he's not good, whatever. I was kind of going back and forth in that scene if he actually knew that was his father or not, and was not like tricked into it's not Analogia, it's the other beast that he had to deal with at his young age, and having to watch him deal with that was really hard. But the good scene for Juvia is she finally kills the necromancer and then figures out, oh, I have to kill your dad at the same time, and I love you so much, I don't want to do this. And the fact that Gray's dad is like, no, you need to do this and you're freeing me. And then there's a scene where they're at the gravesite of his father, and she has to confess, like, hey, this is what I had to do at this moment in time. And Gray's very grateful for her for doing that, because she did free his father from his chains. And I think this came to the point where we're hitting a crossroads where I'm thinking Gray's finally over that trauma that he has faced, and Juvia is kind of growing up a little bit because she had to go through that traumatic experience. And now, like, I feel more of a connection since we've gone through the whole, you know, year time skip towards the end of the series. Now, it's still, you know, like her scenes drive me crazy, especially the ones where she's in her dream world. Those get a little weird. I don't know who wrote those, but those get a little weird. Because I don't know the manga, the writer of the manga, his name, but it's just it brings her down as a character. It really does. And I really hope for both of them, I think Juvia we might be seeing, especially probably in the 100-year quest. I'm hoping we see a lot of character development for her. Um, and everything. Like her power is so cool. Like, and I'm hoping she gets some power ups and we get some Juvia love because I do like her. And I could see potentially now that Gray is through his trauma that we can maybe see her growing as a character as well, because there's a big huge connection between her and Gray when it comes to her character development being so down. And then, we finally get that scene where they're him and his friend, well, and frenemy, are fighting their, well, a production of their old man old mentor. There we go. Old mentor, and he's finally like, you need to work through this. If it means that you need to punch this projection, then you need to do that. But it's been too long. We need to grow out of it. And I think after watching that scene, like, I feel like it might not be such as one-sided. And I think the other thing that really drives me crazy about this Juvia Gray, and I cannot remember his enemy name. There's a love triangle. So his like frenemy over here likes Juvia. Juvia doesn't like him. Gray Gray doesn't like her. And so I'm like, okay, that guy over there is almost the exact same person. Because I swear they're two of the exact same characters. Like, they have the same master. Like, they're almost the same characters. It's just like one likes you, one doesn't. Like, go for the one that likes you. But she's like, yeah, you're gross. Is kind of the vibe I'm getting off of that whole thing. And what it gives me is just the Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke vibe from Naruto. I cannot wait to talk about Naruto. I will eventually. But most of it's complaining about most of the half of the series, so I do apologize for Naruto fans for this channel. But and a lot of it's the relationships that end up. But that's just it leads to that stereotype of, the girl's in the middle. One guy extremely likes her, one guy doesn't, and it's like, okay, why are you waiting for this guy that's not giving you an answer when this guy's like, oh yeah, I like you. Do you wanna get dinner? I'd be like, sure. Like, that's sexy. You're telling me that you like me and know how to communicate and don't have issues. Even though I love Gray so much. He used to be my background, my phone. But I'm like, yeah, that guy over there, that looks good. But Gray over here is like, oh, I don't right now. Like, I have stuff to work out. Like, I'd be like, okay, go over here. Then maybe go over there later. Like, I don't. But that's kind of about it with this video. I know this is kind of my longer video, but I had to talk about two different characters and kind of really deep dive into Juvia. And then if you like this type of content, I'm planning most of this month because I'm going through Magical Readathon. So I'm kind of just read. So probably next month might be a lot more book reviews. So I'm probably going to do a little bit more of these character analysis, like tropes in anime and in books a little bit more. I'm probably, I might do a separate video about Personal Librarian. I haven't decided yet, but it's going to be another like rant review like I kind of did for Age of Light. So I don't know if I want to just maybe do a little bit of a longer video once I get my book of the month books done. I haven't decided yet. I would subscribe, see what I do. But yeah, I want to definitely get my Urza video out. I've been wanting to do that one for a while. What else? I'd like to start talking about some Game of Thrones characters for that series. Men That Write Women Well. But I'm thinking I might just do the fairy tale women I was talking about. So, don't be surprised to see an Urza video. A Levy. I love her. I am gonna do Lucy, even though I do have complaints about her. There's so many. Even in fairy tale, which we'll talk. I'm gonna probably do a Mary Jane video too. I know there's not much to say, but I have a couple of things with her that I want to talk about. So I'm planning on doing that. Expect more One Piece videos. I have more to say. But I think I'm kind of done with the women's side of it right now. So I kind of want to get into some of the other Straw Hats a little bit and do some character analysis on that. And then just kind of expect my book of the month overview, how I feel about book of the month, Illumicrate, that video's coming, and probably just an overview on how I feel like I did with Magical Readathon. I know those videos don't do as well on my channel, but as of right now, I'm just kind of trying to grow as a creator. So I'm just throwing everything to the wall and seeing what works. So if you like being here, don't be shy about liking, subscribing this video. If you have any other characters that you think kind of fits this trope, leave them down in the comments. Because I would like to analyze this trope and a little bit more. I don't hate it. I just think it really downgrades the characters. But yeah, if you have more characters or just have feelings, you can put your feelings down. It's okay. You can disagree with me too. But all of that you can put down in the comments. I've been pretty good about answering them. And then you guys have a lovely rest of your day. And I will be here with another video coming soon.